Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel intends now to take control of the entirety of the Gaza Strip. On social media earlier this morning, his office posted a series of goals which Israel's security cabinet voted in favor of yesterday, including taking control of Gaza City, which is among the quarter of the enclave it currently does not hold. The other goals include disarming Hamas, the return of all hostages, the demilitarization of Gaza, and establishing security control of that territory. Prime Minister Netanyahu offered more detail in an interview yesterday with Fox News.
Will Israel take control of all of Gaza?
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel. That's what we want to do.
Are you saying today that you will take control of the entire 26-mile Gaza Strip as it was 20 years ago to this month in 2005?
Well, we don't want to keep it. We want to have a security perimeter. We don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern it properly without threatening us and giving Gazans a good life. That's not possible with Hamas.
So, Rav, help us fill in the blanks here. Prime Minister Netanyahu says he wants the Israeli military to occupy the entirety of Gaza, that entire strip, to go in, but not to keep it, then to turn it over to a yet unnamed Arab security force. What more can you tell us about this plan?
Yeah, Willie, as you're indicating, there are a lot of blanks in this plan. So Israel's Security Cabinet held this marathon meeting last night. They voted in the early hours of the morning, Israel time, to approve a plan to send the Israeli military in to seize control of Gaza City. Now, that on its face is a little more limited than what Prime Minister Netanyahu said to Fox News yesterday, which is that Israel plans to militarily occupy the entire Gaza Strip. It isn't clear at this point if taking Gaza City would be a first step towards eventually taking control of the entire strip. There is deep opposition among Israel's military leadership nearly 2 years into this war. There is a feeling that Israel has achieved militarily all it can, and yet the politicians are sending the generals in now to ramp up this military offensive. There is deep concern, Willie, among the families of Israeli hostages. We have seen in the past Hamas executing Israeli hostages when IDF troops draw near. They are deeply, deeply frightened, the families of these roughly 20 or so surviving Israeli hostages, that you could see something similar as Israeli forces sweep in again on the ground. And then, as you say, there is this major question about who controls Gaza on the other side of this war. Netanyahu saying there that he wants to see an Arab force governing it. He is not saying who that is. We heard a unanimous statement from the Arab League last week saying that they believe Hamas should give up control in Gaza, that they should lay down their weapons, and that they should hand over control to the Palestinian Authority, the internationally recognized Palestinian semi-government. But in that Security Cabinet vote overnight, the Israeli government explicitly saying they will not allow the Palestinian Authority to take control of Gaza. So at this point, despite fighting for nearly 2 years, it remains deeply, deeply unclear whether Netanyahu has any kind of long-term plan for Gaza. He does say Israel doesn't want to stay there long term. It's worth saying that is not necessarily a consensus position inside the Israeli government. Some of the far-right members of his cabinet would like to see Israeli settlements reestablished in Gaza on the other side of this. Willie.
All right, NBC's Rav Sanchez, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate your reporting. Let's bring in Jonathan Lemire right now. John, no doubt about it, there will be many, many people in the world community that find this a very disturbing move. There'll be many people inside of Gaza obviously outraged by it, but I don't think we can overstate how against this plan many generals and the IDF and Israel's own military feel about this. They are against this. They've been to Gaza before. They've tried to occupy it before. There's a reason they gave it up in 2005. Same thing with the hostage families. This is a nightmare for the hostage families. Many obviously upset that Netanyahu's government hasn't worked more aggressively on this front and releasing the hostages that Donald Trump was able to do with a couple of phone calls and a little bit of pressure, what Netanyahu had not been able to do. But here you have a situation where Gaza is starving to death. And we're hearing reports not only of atrocities committed against those that are trying to get that food and that aid from Israel, but we're also hearing that Hamas is stopping a large percentage of trucks from coming in there. So the question is, what would Israel do differently, and how soon would these Arab states who have been volunteering quietly behind the scenes to bring in peacekeeping forces, how long would that be? It seems like a long and tragic quagmire lying ahead for all sides here.
Yeah, it can't be overstated just how harrowing and desperate the situation is in Gaza and where we could be going. First, to the point about the hostages, you're right. A number of hostage families have denounced this plan, fearing that the remaining hostages could be killed in the Israeli invasion that could be coming, or perhaps by their Hamas captors as they're fleeing. You're right to highlight, Joe, of course, this desperate famine situation. Israel has increased a little the amount of aid that's gotten into Gaza in the last week or so, but some has been stolen by Hamas. Others, as you see scenes of chaos there, the situation that Israel has created since the blockade went into place a few months ago has led to a lot of violence and desperation as Palestinians there try to get even the smallest morsels of food and supplies. And the United States has also agreed. I've reported, we've talked about on the show, that President Trump himself and others believe that Israel's military objectives have been accomplished there, but there's still no real push on this end to get, on the United States' end, to get Netanyahu to change course. Ralph made a key point there. This is the dream of a lot of the far right in Netanyahu's government to reoccupy Gaza. And Netanyahu is beholden to them. He needs their support to stay in power, to avoid other elections, to keep his government going. Polls suggest if there were another vote, he would lose. So he's trying to placate them. And that's why we're seeing this push.